Hi everyone, welcome back to the podcast. So as well as our normal episodes, we're also going to be having a lot of guests onto the podcast to chat about English, but also to tell us stories from their hometowns and home countries. In my classes with students from all around the world, I get to learn a lot about different countries and different cultures, and I want to share them with you, as well as getting some great advice from students who have learned English to a high level and great teachers as well. So today is our first guest chat episode, and today we have Natasha from Ukraine. She's actually one of my previous students, but she's an English teacher herself. So she's learned English to an advanced level, and she has some great advice on how you can do that today as well. She also shares some really interesting stories about Ukraine. I actually learnt a lot from it myself. And at the end, we have a really fun teacher challenge where she challenged me to guess the meaning of 3 new Ukrainian words that have developed since the war began a couple of years ago. It was really interesting, and I hope you enjoyed the chat today. Morning, Natasha. How are you doing?
Oh, thank you. I'm great. How are you?
Good. Yeah, I'm fine, thank you. I'm really good. So, where are you today?
Now, currently, I'm at my office. So, yes, in my office
In the
in
office. It
Cyprus.
looks
Yeah.
okay, so the
Mhm.
office is in Cyprus. Yeah, good. So, but you're not from Cyprus, right?
Yes. Actually, originally, I'm from Ukraine, from a small town, Zhytomyr. Yes,
Okay,
but now
cool.
I'm relocated to Cyprus with my work.
Nice. Cool. So give us a little introduction then. So, who are you?
Yes, so I am an English teacher. Like mainly I teach adults, and I've been teaching for many years so far because I'm gonna be 28 soon. So that's why I started teaching when I was 18. So first of all, I was teaching just kids, but after that, I decided to try teaching adults, and it appeared to be much cooler. And it was like, oh, cool. So I like teaching adults like actually more. Yes, and I was teaching adults for many years, and then I got this job offer to become like a corporate English teacher in Cyprus, like also with Ukrainian company, but like to teach the employees here. Yes, so now I'm here. It's been a year since like I've relocated to Cyprus so far. Yeah.
Cool. So I think a corporate English teacher, that's a really cool job title, I think. And yeah, like you said, you started teaching from a really young age. I think that's interesting. And you've taught a lot of different types of students as well. So we'll come back to that in a moment, but let's hear a little bit more. I want to share some stories of my students and other teachers of their home countries and their hometowns. So I asked you to tell me or tell us 3 interesting things about your hometown or your home country. So have you got them?
Mhm. Yeah, okay. It's like a difficult task for me because like in order to love the to love my city, to love Zhytomyr, you have to be born here. So because I love it with all my heart, but just because I was born in there, yeah. So that's why one interesting fact about my hometown is like better do not go out after 10 p.m. if you don't want to get into some kind of fight or something like that.
What kind of trouble could you face if you go out after 10 p.m.?
Eh, Different, like me personally, I didn't like face a lot of things because I was just like, okay, I need to run away, and that's
Okay.
it. But you're a guy,
Hmm.
you are like get into some trouble because we have a lot of different guys who just want to show their like dominance and like so yes, so it can happen. That's very interesting fact about me. But still, I love it. It's great. So come to Žytomyr. It's perfect.
I think it reminds me a lot of my hometown, to be honest. My hometown is Nottingham in England, and so you said that to love your hometown, you have to be from your hometown. I think even the people from my hometown don't love my hometown. Nobody likes it very much, I think. Um, And it also had, in the past, it had quite a bad reputation for that. So
Mm-hmm.
it actually had a nickname called Shottingham. So the city's
Shorten.
name is Nottingham, but it had a
Mhm.
nickname Shottingham because there
Oh my
was,
God.
yeah, there was some problems with, you know, crime and maybe some gun crime. But actually, it's okay now, and I feel pretty safe there. But it's not the best place in the world, but it's okay. It's not bad.
Yeah,
Um,
so that thing, yeah.
Go on.
Like about my hometown. So I think that it sounds already like some kind of diagnosis. So like whenever I say that I'm from Zhytomyr and people know this place, so they're like, Zhytomyr. Okay, I understood. So they understand everything just from the name of it. Like, you're from Zhytomyr. All right, all right. So criminal lady or something. Yeah.
Exactly
So
the same, actually. Some people say, "Oh, Nottingham," things like that. But yeah, it's is it a stereotype or is it true?
now it's more of a stereotype, yes. So like, but it used to be, yes, it used to be pretty dangerous, yeah. But now I wouldn't say so. So this I still love it, yes. So like the way it is,
Okay,
yeah. So
so great start, great start. Don't go out after 10 p.m. in your hometown. Okay. Next interesting thing about your hometown or country.
yeah, so like if talking about Ukraine in general, so the thing that I love about it, I'm not sure how interesting it is, but like the thing that I really adore about this, that we have everything. Like we have like the mountains, beautiful sea, so like parks, I don't know, forests, like all the things. So that's why whatever you want to see, you can just go to different parts of Ukraine and you will definitely see it, and it will be like of the greatest beauty. So that's why it's like is the thing that impresses. Yeah. So yeah, this is the second thing. If
So
not
great
like
nature.
good society, yes. So yeah, nature, and actually not only nature, because in terms of the cities, like if you want to experience some good village life, so you can go to Carpathian Mountains and it will
Yeah,
be super authentic, like real close to life, like as it used to be. And if you want to have some city life, some busy lifestyle, so you just go to Kiev and you will definitely see it, yes. And it's a nice thing, so you can get whatever you want there. So and
that's really
it's a nice
cool.
thing.
So a big like variety of scenery and places to go.
Yes, yes.
That's cool.
And like connected to places, what I would say, so that still Ukraine has the best service. I don't know, like I've never seen like
Has the
the
best what? Sorry?
service. Like I mean, when you go to the restaurants, hotels, or something like that, so it like the service will be on the highest level, and all the things will be on the highest level. So that's why, like, you always know that if you go to some place, you will get the best things. Because just now I'm living in Cyprus, and I see this contrast, and
Yeah.
that in Cyprus you go to the best restaurant, like I don't know, you want to taste something like incredibly tasty, but no, no, it
Okay.
never works.
That's
Yeah.
really cool. I didn't know that. I knew a little bit about the nature and the variety of the scenery in Ukraine, but I didn't have any idea that it's famous for having really good service like that as well. That's cool. Is that the third point, or is there another one?
Yes, it was the third. Let it be the third, please.
Okay, cool. I want to ask you really quickly because I love food and I love
Hmm.
talking about food. And I've never been to Ukraine, but I'm in Bulgaria now, which is
Hmm.
not so far. It's also kind of Eastern Europe, and I love the food here. I think it's really good. I don't know if it's similar to the food in Ukraine, but what's the food in Ukraine like?
Tasty, delicious, amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that the most popular dish that you can come up with, and like they are always tasty, this borscht, like that
mm,
everybody heard, like vareniki and like pelmeni and like different things. So холодец. So usually it includes some. It has a lot of meat. So
a lot of
like the
meat. Yeah.
main point about Ukrainian cuisine, yes, it's like the more meat, the better. Yeah, because Ukrainian people love fat, like crazy food, and
Okay.
that's the point. Yeah. So that's why, like, if you want to eat only traditional cuisine, you are rather like you would rather get fat. So
Okay.
that's why it's like idea to eat
That's
only
okay with
Ukrainian.
me.
Yeah. Yeah, so because when I used to be a child and my granny, she used to cook all the time for me, so I was plump child. It's like
Okay.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I imagine it's really like home style food. Like
Mhm.
the food, like you said, like the food that your grandma would cook or something like
Yeah.
that. Is it that style of food?
Yes, yes, always that style. So that's why it's good when you eat it like for some holidays, I don't know, some celebrations, so then it's nice. Yeah, but on a regular basis, so you should better steer clear of all like completely traditional cuisine. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, not every day.
And
Great.
what about Bulgarian food? What
I
like
th
do you
I,
eat?
I think similar. I think similar. So Bulgarian food also the traditional Bulgarian food also has a lot of meat, but for me
Mm-hmm.
it's really good. A lot of meat and a lot of
Yeah.
cheese. And the
Uh-huh.
cheese here is like a white cheese. So
Mm-hmm.
a little bit like feta cheese, which is a
Mm-hmm.
cheese from Greece, right? And it's this cheese is great. And the cheese is on everything. You know, there's a famous salad here which has this cheese all over it.
Mm-hmm.
For breakfast, people eat this cheese with some jam. And it's great. Yeah. I think it's the same, like quite heavy, hearty food, which means it makes you feel very full, makes you feel kind of strong. Yeah, maybe you can't eat it every day, but for me, it's really good to go to a traditional restaurant and eat that style of food. It's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
great. So some interesting things about Ukraine there. Really, really cool. Let's get into English and teaching a little bit as well. So let's start with teaching, I think. Um, Talk me through your progression from a starting teaching at 18 to now being
Mhm.
a corporate English teacher in Cyprus. What happened?
Yeah, actually, it was a really funny story, I would say, because back in the day when I was studying at university, I was that kind of person who would always say, "No, I'll never be a teacher. Like teaching sucks. Like no, never in my life."
Yeah.
So I really didn't want to do that. But I started teaching, like teaching kids because I was desperate and like I needed some money and like it was the most obvious way for me to like to get the job. Okay, I'm teaching, so that's why I will start as a like tutor for kids. So
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's it.
Mhm.
And actually, I liked it. So first of all, I had individual classes with them. Then I had groups. Then I like started to work for one language school, and I got into it. And it was great. Yeah, I loved children, and I loved working with them. But at some point, I understood that I love children. I love hugging children more than teaching children like this.
Okay.
I and biggest part of the lesson it was like, okay, come to me, I will hug it. That was
Yeah.
it.
So
So
little children, I guess, right? Like
yeah,
kindergarten
like
age.
mm, no, no, it was maybe like I was teaching till 13 years, like yes, from kindergarten and to like 6 years at school or something like that. So like yeah, maybe 5 year old, 13-year-old children like that.
Hmm.
Yes, I hugged all of them.
Nice.
So
Okay.
yeah, I liked really a lot, but I understood that okay, I'm not the best teacher when it comes to children because I get distracted a lot, and I cannot be the strict like teacher who will give them all the knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I teach adults. And that I liked actually it even more because like when you work with adults, you get this experience from other people, you work with interesting people. So that's why like it's always new opportunities, new knowledge. So that's why it's not one-way street. Like so it always like two-way road, like so that you exchange the experiences. And
Yeah.
it's a nice thing.
You get to
This
know
what you
when you teach adults, you get to you kind of make some friends, don't you? Like you get to know people really quite
yeah.
well. Like me and you, I had I you know we had some classes together before, right? And
Yeah.
got to know each other very well, and you hear stories from people's real lives. I think that's really, really cool. So is that how you got the job in Cyprus?
Yeah, because basically my boss, so he used to be my student, so I was
Okay.
teaching him on. He relocated soon as the war started, so that's why like I just joined them a bit later. So that's why, yeah, yes,
Nice. So
and
you
it's
met
great.
your current boss. Your current boss
Yeah,
was your student. Do you still teach him
yeah.
now?
Occasionally, yes,
Yeah.
he likes to ignore me, but like yes, of
That's
course I'm
cool.
teaching him, and we are working on his progress, and it's great. Yeah.
Excellent. Really, really cool. So what are some problems that Ukrainian English learners have then? Are there any common problems that a lot of them face?
Yes, I think that the biggest problem about all like Ukrainian way of teaching is that mostly people are taught with the help of this deductive approach. So like I mean that the process of learning is incredibly boring and useless. So
Okay.
because why I never like wanted to be a teacher, because like how we were taught, okay, we are going to learn present simple. Here are the rules, here are examples, use it. So
Okay.
and was never made like for like with real life situation or close to life situation, so like with some communicative approach. So we never face like any interesting ways of teaching, so that's why like we didn't want to learn, we didn't want to get this knowledge to learn the new language and like that, just because we didn't know that it can be taught in a different way.
Okay.
And when I was like studying for a teacher, it was my biggest problem, like I don't want to be a teacher because like it's lame. But
Okay.
then it figured, oh, okay, so it's not that boring. Actually, it's pretty nice. So you can just use different approach here. So yeah, so this is the biggest problem, because the learning process is pretty boring and useless, because it has nothing to do with real life. Because when the students go to real life, so they don't know how to use this present simple, because they did hundreds of exercises, but they don't know how to apply it. And
So they
we,
can they can answer a question in a textbook, like make a sentence using the present simple, but
yeah,
when it comes to real life and actually
yeah,
using that, it's more difficult. I think that's interesting because I think it's a problem that many people around the world have. Not I've heard
mm,
that from a lot of people from China, from other countries that they learn English as a subject in school, and then when they go into the real world, into work, it's kind of like what's
yeah,
happening? Um,
yeah. And it's
so
awful, yeah. It's the language, like, and the language, you have to be into the language, into environment. There's like into the cultural stuff, yeah. But like
yeah.
people are not.
I think because
And
in school, you have a lot of students in the class, don't you? And it's difficult for the teacher to it would be difficult to give all of those students a chance to practice in a real life situation, but I guess that's how it is. So what would your advice be then for people, not only Ukrainians, but people who've learned English in that kind of really formal and structured way? What would your advice be for them to use it in the real world? Because you're obviously really good, and I think you're at quite an advanced level and you can use English very naturally. So how did you get to that, and what would your advice be?
yeah, so I think that first and first, you just need to understand that you must know English. You have to know English. It's like now this is the go-to tool that will help you in many situations. So that's why like you need to know it. And as soon as you understand that this is the tool that you cannot get without, so that you cannot like avoid, so then you just need to find the interesting way for yourself, because for different people this is like different ways, but like you definitely shouldn't stick to one way of learning, like at school, for example, or at the university. Like, no. But for example, what worked for me, I was really into the Ellen show and Jim Fallon show. And
Okay.
back in the day, like when I started watching them, so there weren't many videos with subtitles or with translations. So that's why I had to figure out all the jokes myself. So I opened the video. Okay, so now I need to translate the joke. So, and that was my way of learning, because I really like that sense of humor and I wanted to understand it better. And like I watched really a lot of videos. But for my friend, for example, it's reading, and like her aim is to read fiction and like
Okay.
to know this So that's why like you have to find your tool, yeah, so how to do that. But like I think that a math thing is like is speaking natives with natives, because like
Okay.
this communication that even like I got from you, it's really necessary for students, because like Ukrainian teacher will never give you that up to date and that like information that is actually used in everyday life. So because for example, even me, I know the language, but still I don't know a lot of slang words, so a lot of like everyday phrases, slang phrases, yeah. So that only like you can show me. So that's why it's also must.
Think that's really, really good advice because a lot of you, we always hear you need to surround yourself with English, right? So, and it's very easy for people to say, you should watch movies, you should watch TV, you should read books, right? But how do we actually do that? It's not so easy in real life, and it's easy to say, but not so easy to do. And I think, yeah, like you said, you have to be quite active with that. So you have to maybe take the subtitles away, watch it a few times and try to translate what you're watching. You also need to find what you like. So you said your friend likes reading. Do what you
Yeah.
enjoy, otherwise you're not going to do it for a long time. And also get comfortable with not understanding everything, right? So
Yeah.
especially with reading, you know, when I read a book in English, there are always words I don't know, but you have
Mhm.
to learn how to use the context to kind of guess the meaning and be confident that you're right. So I think that's really, really good advice. And yeah, in our classes before, you always, when we had class, you always came with some phrases that you'd heard in a TV show or in a movie or that
Yeah.
you'd seen in a book, and you very often you would check with me, what does this mean, and is it a natural thing to say? Like, do people really say this? So I think
Yeah.
that's also really good advice. You know, check with people, ask questions, make sure it's natural.
Yeah, because like I think it's conscious approach like to learning, because also it is very often said like, okay, just turn on something in the background, you will listen and you will learn. Okay,
Yeah.
it might work to some extent, but still no. So it's like it should be a conscious process. So like because when we just watch a movie, we are just checking our listening skills, but we are not developing them. But in
Mm.
order to develop listening skills, we need to watch, to stop, to translate, to check our ideas, then to rewatch it again. And only after that, we understand that, like, okay, now I hear this difference. Okay, now I'm developing my listening skills. And that's an absolutely different approach that, like, you have to use in learning the language, not checking and testing the language. Yes, that's
Definitely. Yeah,
also.
you have to be active when you're watching movies and reading books, not just lying on the sofa playing on your phone kind of thing. But
Yeah.
yeah, cool.
It,
Really, really good
it,
advice, I think. Nice one. I have one more question, and it was about the recent events that have happened in Ukraine. So has that changed the way that people learn English in Ukraine, or the need for people to learn English? Are people bothered
it,
about learning English anymore? There are bigger things
uh,
happening, right?
Yeah, so like actually, since the war started, I see that the tendency to learn English is like has increased actually dramatically, because people started to leave the country and to start new lives in different countries, and like they have to start from scratch. But like in Ukraine, you're living like in a bubble, so like okay, you don't need English because nobody speaks this English. So, but as soon as you leave the country and you have to face this real life circumstances where
Yep.
English is used everywhere. So yeah, so the demand for learning English has increased. Yeah. And now like English teachers like have a lot to work, because everybody wants to know English, and like so and they understand that okay, so we need to know it because actually it's a basic tool. Yeah, for
Okay.
survival.
I
But
see. I
like
see.
it's like this years, but not before.
Right, I see. Okay. Well, hopefully it's fixed very soon and those people can go back and teach more people the English that they learn, right? Or use it to develop different businesses back in Ukraine as well. Cool.
Yeah.
Right. Really, really good chat today. I think it's been great. But we're coming to the end now and it's time for challenge the teacher. Okay, so I asked you to prepare some kind of challenge for me. What is it?
Yeah, so like when the war started, we started to have a lot of, so like the best tool for survival is like to joke, actually.
Okay.
And in Ukrainian language, there have been like a lot of words that like now we have a lot of new words and like that are used in our everyday speech and everyday life. So and they are created like based on the word topic. So yeah, so that's why it's like partially sad, but also funny things. So that's
Okay.
why now I'm gonna give you some words, like 3 words that like have appeared during this year, and you will have to try to guess. So I will give you the literal translation of these words as far as I can. So, but you will try to get the meaning. Yep. And
Okay, so
we will.
these are like new words that have been created kind of in the last year or two.
Yes,
Okay.
in the last year. So like with the influenced by the war stuff. Yes.
Okay.
So but it's kind of that. Okay, so the first word is затрудни.
Okay.
Затрудни. Yes. So it is translated like in 3 days.
In three
Затрудни.
days.
Yeah.
Okay. So is it like kind of like an idiom or there's a
Uh,
some
and
kind of
no,
special meaning?
it now it has like some special meaning. Yeah, so that's why in 3 days.
Okay.
So this is like, but за 3 дни is like 3 words connected into one. So за 3 дни, за 3. So in 3 days.
In three
So
days.
can,
So I've got to guess the kind of the special meaning of this.
I can give you the context.
Do you want to, or is that giving me too much? Is it making it easier
Okay,
for me?
good
Okay.
without the context.
I have to have I'm gonna have to guess. But okay, I'm guessing that during really difficult times like a wartime, I imagine it's very difficult to predict far into the future what's going to happen. So my guess is that in 3 days means you are only going to plan for the next 3 days, and then you're going to see what happens next.
Uh-uh.
It's wrong. Okay.
Not close with it is connected to plants, yes, but it's the meaning is different. Any other ideas?
No, I can only have one guess, I think. Come on, we got to be strict with this.
Okay.
Go on then. What
Okay.
does it mean?
Yes, as a treaty, it means unrealistic plans.
Okay.
Because like when they started, it was said that the Ukraine will be occupied in 3 days, which
Ah,
didn't
okay.
happen. Yeah,
Ah,
so this
okay.
we have this Zatretny like in 3 days, like that's something unrealistic that actually it won't happen. Yes, so and this is kind of adjective. Yes, so like Zatretny.
So
Yes,
you can say
something.
that is in 3 days if we translate it
Yeah,
directly to
Zatretny.
English.
Yeah,
So
this plan
go on.
is Zatretny. I don't know like how to use it properly in a good context. Yeah, but something like that. Yeah.
So it's kind of like sarcastic, like jokey, a jokey
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
Can
Yes.
can you think of an example?
I think that we can say like this plan is pretty like Zatretny.
Okay.
So
Could
the
I
plan
say,
is like it's
all right,
unrealistic. It
could I say
happen.
like I will have 1 million podcast subscribers next week? This
It's not
is in
Zatretny.
3 days.
It's true.
Okay, but
So
does
it's
it
not,
work like that?
yeah, kind of that. Yeah,
Oh,
more or less.
that's a nice one. Okay, I like that one. Right, that's 1-0 to you. Congratulations.
Of course, yes. So
What's the next one?
the next one is дебахнуло.
Okay.
Дебахнуло. If we translate it, it's like where did it explode? Where did it blow up?
Okay.
So what does it mean?
And it's also not just a literal meaning, right? It's quite
Of course,
idiomatic.
no. It would be too easy.
Where did it explode?
It's like I will give you like a hint. Like it's actually used for the person. So he's the бахнуло.
Okay. So like where did he explode? I'm okay. This is difficult, but I'm gonna have a guess. I imagine somebody became very angry, and this
Mhm.
phrase is the point or the thing that made them angry. No. Okay, go on then. What is it?
Yes, so the Baknula, this is the kind of person who is very interested in some things that actually eventually can bring more harm to other people.
Okay, okay.
So a silly person that gets interested into the thing that they shouldn't be interested actually into. Because like the origin of this word is like that when we have some missile attacks or some explosions in Ukraine,
Hmm,
people start to take photos and
right.
send it into different channels, which shouldn't be done because like for that, like then it can be easily tracked like and monitored so where it exploded. So it
Yeah,
shouldn't be done. And people start to ask like, where did it blow up? Where was the explosion? Where? And it's a bad thing. You shouldn't like ask about it. When the information has to be given, it is given. And that's the point. Yeah. And like these people now are called the Bachnula because they like, oh, you're the Bachnula. So like don't don't get interested in the thing that is not your business like that.
it's really cool. It reminds me of an English idiom to shoot yourself in the foot, right? To shoot
Mhm.
yourself in the foot. So it's kind of like you're trying to do something for yourself, but actually you hurt yourself or you do harm to yourself when you're doing it. It's like that.
Yeah, it's like first of all yourself, and second thing is like other people as well. Yeah, so that's why like it can bring harm to many people as well. Yeah, so and
Okay.
that's like no, like
All right.
yeah, the
Cool.
like
Really, really interesting one. Nice. Well, congratulations. You've won the competition. It's 2-0, and there's only one more there's only one more question left. But come on, let's have it. See if I can get myself 1 point back.
that actually the third word is the most difficult one, but
Okay.
we just
Come on,
close.
let's do it.
Bavovna.
Okay.
Bavovna. Bavovna, the translation is cotton, like the material.
Cotton. Okay.
Yes. So yeah,
Okay, look,
you,
you've already won, okay? So I'm gonna ask for some help with this one. I need a clue.
yeah. Okay, so actually, how I will use it? Russia has experienced some cotton, some bavovna on its territory. Let's say like that.
Okay. Some cotton. Right. So it could be like, oh, I don't know. It could be like some when people kind of go against what you're trying to do, like some pushback, we could say, resistance. No? Okay, go on. What is it?
Yes, actually, the meaning will be if we translate cotton into Russian,
Hmm.
so it has the word хлопок,
Okay.
хлопок. But хлопок is like a light bang, a light explosion, if you
Okay.
put like this. So хлопок, this is cotton, like the
Hmm.
material. But хлопок, this is a light explosion that is not like very harmful, so something not dangerous. So that is like хлопок. And yeah, so that's why when Russia has experienced some explosions on its territory, like which were caused by Ukrainian army, so they didn't call it explosion, they called it like хлопок, like something not serious. And like our Ukrainian like journalists and like comedy people, so they decided to turn it like to translate like хлопок, хлопок into bavovna, and bavovna хлопок is the same. So it's like very twisted pun
So it's like
like this.
two the cotton and a small explosion. The pronunciation is very similar of those two words.
Yeah. Yes.
So they
Yes.
use it
Yes. In
right.
Russian. Yes.
I
Like
get it.
chlopak, walk. So that's why like it's and then we just translate it literally into our language.
I
So
got
that's
it.
it.
I got it. Okay. Well, there you go. Right. Do you know what the English word whitewash means? Whitewash.
No,
It means
whitewash.
when you totally like destroy your opponent and your opponent gets 0 points. So today's challenge is a whitewash. You got 3 points and I got absolutely nothing. So congratulations, well done.
It
But
was my
they
plan,
were really
actually. Yes.
interesting. Yeah, they were really interesting ones, I think. It's really, really cool. And it's cool that they just kind of developed in the last year or two as well. But of course, in very, very bad circumstances. But yeah, it's good
Yeah.
to be able to laugh and joke even when something like that is happening, of course.
This is the
Cool.
thing that I like, yeah, because like everybody is able to laugh and like to make fun at even in such situations. So this is
Yeah,
like what I love about people. Yeah.
that's a good thing. Yeah, good. All right. Well, it's been really, really fun today. I really enjoyed that. Thank you very much for coming along, and I'll see you soon.
Yes, see you. Thanks a lot for inviting. Bye bye.